Mark, a new role for you at Eton Stannington as a coach, but where did life begin for you?
So in terms of growing up, Swalwell lad, just not far from the Metro Centre. So Swalwell, born and bred. My dad was heavily into football, played for Scotland youth at some level. So he obviously had a keen interest, as did my brother, and that was kind of just passed on to me. Right. So played football for as long as I can remember, really.
What position was your favourite position?
I kind of worked my way back over as the years went on, so probably finished either centre half or defensive midfielder.
Right. And how did you get then into non-league football from that position?
So my playing days kind of stopped quite early because I started working, so my weekends were taken working while, so I couldn't play. So then I started to volunteer for a club that I actually played for, which was Gates at Rutherford. Played for them in many different guises, in many different teams, and kind of just my coaching kind of came from school, and then started becoming more and more serious, you know, when I was doing the non-league stuff. Yes,
and after Gateshead Rutherford?
So spent quite some time off and on at Gateshead Rutherford as a player. Then I assisted with a reserve team. The manager of the reserve team then got the first team manager's role, so moved up with him. He then left, and a new manager came in. Then I left about a couple of weeks later and joined Berkeley St Joseph's as manager, who were in the Alliance Division 2 at the time.
What was that like?
It was great, new challenge, some good lads. We went on a great run, so got promoted and won a cup in the first season. Second season finished 5th, I think it was, in the first division, then 3rd, and then kind of on course to get promotion the next season, but that's when the club then merged with Berkeley Town.
Right. So what happened to you then?
So I was manager of Berkeley St Joseph's during the merger. The idea was that the two teams would stay as they were and run separately until the summer and then properly merge. It kind of wasn't working out from the Berkeley Town's point of view in terms of the results, so I was asked to go across to try and help them stay in the Northern League. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So kind of regrouped again in the summer in the Alliance Premier. But after about 10 games or so, the results weren't going the way everybody hoped, and the club decided that they wanted to make a change. So left there, and then I was invited to go back to Gates at Rutherford, working with Mick Watson, who was the manager.
That was the manager then, or assistant?
No, Mick was the manager. Yes. So there was a couple of coaches there, goalkeeping coach and another coach, and I was just asked to go along and assist there. And then that was for about a year and a half, and then Mick left. And then I went in as joint manager with another coach, and that lasted till about Christmas time when his commitments, he couldn't maintain it, so dipped out, and then I finished off and seen the season out.
All right. And was that the season you came across Dean Nicholson?
It was, yeah. So it was kind of probably about a year or so before that when I was just the assistant and Dean was at Killy. And then when we were up against each other as managers, we got on, you know, well on the sideline, had a bit chatting, a good bit banter, and yeah, it's good to see him doing well.
Was Andy McBride with him as well then?
Yeah, I think he was. Right. I'm not entirely sure, but I think he was.
Right. You won one?
Yeah, so Rutherford won the home game, and then Killy beat us in the cup, and then beat us in the league, and that was the season that they were crowned champions.
All right. So what happened after Rutherford?
So seen that season out there, and then we were expecting a little one. Right. So I took a bit of time out, right, to spend some time with a new arrival and with a little boy, and then kind of just feeling my way back into football again. And I was invited to get involved with Anfield Playing.
Yes. How was that?
So again, it was fantastic club. The pitch is huge. If you've ever been down here, it's massive. Yes. Great setup, some great people. So I went in there, and the manager left. Sounds like a curse people had, doesn't it? And then so I supported the lad who came in to take over the team, a lad called Chris, who was a great lad. And then towards about October time last year, I kind of felt like it wasn't working, so left there and had a bit of time out. And there's a friend of mine I used to work with years ago. He's actually the chairman of Gateshead Football Club, Neil. So he knew I was without the team, and they were having some changes within their academy. So he asked us if I'd want to go down and help out. So I kind of spent the last couple of weeks with one of their under-16s teams.
With the academy?
Yeah.
What happened after the academy? Was this
So that they kind of ran until the summer,
Right.
and this is where we're at now.
All right.
So their season finished.
All right. What happened next after the academy?
So then it was just, with that being a development role,
Yes.
I enjoyed it. The lads were great, but I always wanted to get back into senior football. So kept an eye out of what was happening locally, and obviously seeing the advert that came out for Heaton.
Yes.
You know, obviously knew Dean from a while back. Put my name in the hat, thinking, you know, Chai Bairns. Dean and I had a chat, and then he came back to us later on and offered us a role, which I was delighted with.
Do you see the things that you've done in the past benefiting where you are now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've been fortunate to play and managed in different dressing rooms.
Yes.
You know, so know what makes a good dressing room, what doesn't make a good dressing room.
Yes.
Had some challenges in terms of teams being relegated, teams finishing in the highest league position that they've had.
Yes.
So a broad range of experience, worked in both the men's and the women's game, worked in grassroots and senior football. So I've kind of been, you know, I've sampled a lot of environments, which I think will stand us in good stead.
Yes. What's your role in the club now then?
So first team coach, so working with Dean in the current setup, taking over the role from Scott from last year.
Right, yes. And what's your hopes for this season for you personally?
For me personally, I'm working towards my UEFA Rail licence, so I'd like to try and get that achieved. But first and foremost, it's about working with the players, putting sessions on that the players enjoy, helping Dean and the team pick up 3 points, and just integrate myself into the club.
What do you think that Stan need to fear being in Northern League Division 1 from your experience?
What do the Star need to fear?
Yes.
We know there's some well-established teams. There's players who have been around for years. So it's about making sure that we're not being naive, making sure, you know, that we set ourselves up to give ourselves the best fighting chance that we can. And, you know, I'm sure, you know, as long as we prepare right, do everything that we feel that we can, we'll give ourselves a good account.
Yes. Can I just ask you, do you know some of the players already here?
Not in terms of a personal relationship,
names.
but the names.
Yes, I thought you would.
And I know that who the club have been looking to bring in or have brought in, you know, would be great additions, and building on what Dean and the team did last year, which was outstanding.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thanks for your time, Mark.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nick, a new signing for Heaton Stannington. Tell us a bit about your background, where you've come from.
Well, I've come local lad. I played for Newcastle when I was a young lad. Was there for about 8 years. I did a couple of years in Scotland in the Championship with Queen of the South in their reserves and things like that, and then came back and played 2 years for Gateshead. Again in their reserves, got a 1 year professional contract there, and then from there just was unfortunately did my cruciate ligament when I was there, so I got that sorted and went to Concert on loan, stayed there for a while, went across to North Shields for 3 years, 3 really good years, and then rejoined Concert towards the end of last season, and now find myself here.
So you were in a promotion rush last year.
Yeah, it was a weird season.
And you go on.
Just half a season at North Shields fighting for that top spot.
Yes.
And then obviously went across to Concert, and it wasn't meant to be to win the league, but to go up the way that we went up in the playoff final was something I'll never forget. So it was a good experience, and we ended up getting promoted one way or another with one of the clubs. So it was a good season.
That'll ring very true with the Stan fans.
It certainly will.
Having lost the top spot, best way to go up, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it was. I think it is. It's as much as everyone would love to be champions of the league over a full season. That one day, win the playoff final. There's nothing you can't beat that.
And what are you looking forward to this year?
I'm looking forward to, I think, seeing how we can compete. A lot of the teams in the Northern League have brought in some extremely good players from higher divisions, and I think it'll be good for all of us to challenge ourselves and see how we do and compete. When I was at North Shields last season, we played against Heaton Stan, and it was a very, very tough game, and I don't see why we can't compete against all of the teams that we play against, and fingers crossed we'll put a good show on and do well. Excellent. Thanks for your time. Thank you very much.
Joe, one of the new signings for Heaton Stannington. Tell us about where you've begun in your footballing career.
Yeah, so I started in Northern League 2 when I was 18 at Brighton and Crook. Done 2 years there. Played most of the games, had a good season there, in all fairness. I think I finished 6th, and then a few changes, and ended up the following season, towards the end of the season, going to Benetton Terriers. Had a good end of the season. There was a lot of change going through last season. We struggled, I think, throughout the whole season, to be honest, with everything going on with the change of chairman and change of managers, new players coming in and out. So I think on a personal note, I had a good season. I've played most of the games, vice captain. Really enjoyed it. But I'm happy to get involved with this season, see how far we can kick on, and hopefully get a lot of game time.
Did you play against Eatonstown last season?
So I missed the home game when it was 6-0 win, I think it was. I missed that game against Eatonstown, but it was the 2-1, I believe, or the 2-0 at Benton's place I played in.
I watched that game.
Which was I think it was midweek. I think it was on a dark night. So it's always a tough game coming to Benton Towers on a dark night. No, it was good. It's always been a tough team to play against. They had a great start in the middle and end of the season. Yeah. They deserve to get promoted, I think, throughout the season. So yeah, hopefully we can start kicking on for next year and hopefully get some good results in.
What position do you play?
So play centre half.
Centre half.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a big 6'4", so you can't really miss.
So you can play with a 3 and a 4.
3 and a 4. Yeah. So I'm used to coming through the younger ranks. I was playing in the 4. But I've played in the 3 many times, going through Wrighton. Most of the time we've played 3 at the back at Benton Tower as well. So I'm used to playing 3 and a 4. So
Brilliant.
I can play both. But yeah. No,
Thanks ever so much for your time.
Thank you very much.